So basically, I saw this earlier, and what this dev blog is basically changes to the game before um before season 2.5, which is why this is so important. So this dev blog is bringing some major changes, which honestly, some of them you don't like to see. They do not make sense at all. In my opinion, this dev blog, I looked over it a little bit, kind of. Like I just saw some of the patches and stuff like that on social media, and primarily I saw one patch and I don't agree with it. But yeah, man, this is a pretty hefty dev blog, it looks like. So let's just get on into it. So first off, they start with the launch of season 2. We've been closely monitoring the game environment and feedback from the community, which is nice. You always love to see that. Lately, we've noticed two hot topics generating a lot of discussion: the impact of balance adjustments and the performance ratings of various classes in ranked play. As such, we want to take to clarify and communicate about these 2 points. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is that they're probably going to talk about the whole support thing and what's going on with that. And I would assume that that means that they're gonna up the amount of points that you get for supports. It gives me a notification. Well, yeah, you're here for a really good you're here for a good part of it, because we're talking about the dev blog and the upcoming patches here. I don't know when these are coming out though. I don't know when these patches are coming out, but so it says season 2 season changes and mid-season balance adjustments. So in previous seasons, the focus was on key abilities and energy management for ultimate abilities, resulting in a more stable combat pace. Probably Tuesday, yeah, probably. However, Season 2.0 shifts the spotlight to coordinated attacks and focused targets, along with necessary collective protective strategies and counterattacks, which has led to more intense combat rhythm. Fair enough. In this fierce environment, strategists face increased pressure, needing to monitor teammates' health closely while carefully using their key abilities and being mindful of their positioning on the map. Meanwhile, vanguards and duelists must not only attack effectively, but also provide better protection for their strategists to achieve victory. So they're kind of just events happen on Tuesday and new season happen on Friday. Yeah, so that would make sense then for it to be on Tuesday. So right, it kind of just seems like they're just like they're like telling you right now, like, hey, this is how you win games, right? Like that's kind of, it seems like this is what, like, because before people were trying to play the game like how they were playing it before, and they obviously changed stuff up with the alts and stuff like that to make it more strategic. I think that's what they wanted to do, and they're telling us this right here, like, hey, if you do this, this is how you'll win games. That's kind of what it feels like they're saying here. But anyways, in the upcoming patch, we will enhance the damage capabilities of certain strategists to elevate their threat levels. That's a W. Chat, that is a major W. Now, like, people, especially if they're doing it to the right supports, like if they up the damage capabilities of like Cloak and Dagger, I don't think that that's going to make that big of a difference. But if they up the damage capabilities of like Adam Warlock, Loki, maybe even like, I don't know, like even like Luna Snow, like Mantis, right? Like those healers that are like primarily like they just have the healing. You should make your own Discord. I was considering it. But like primarily like the people that have their own like they heal kind of like not as their main thing, right? Because Cloak and Dagger, their main thing is healing. And then, like, same thing with Luna Snow. It's like you can do damage with Luna Snow, but if you're going to focus on doing damage with her, then you're not going to be able to heal as much because her primary fire heals people. Whereas with Adam Warlock, his primary fire doesn't heal people. So if his damage capability goes up, then that would be just stellar, right? That would be great. And then Mantis is the same thing. Maybe even Jeff the Shark, even though that fucking shark doesn't need any more damage upgrade, but he does enough as it is. But anyway, so then it says, which in turn will increase team's composition possibilities. Additionally, we will make minor adjustments to a few heroes. Uh-oh, here it goes. For example, Groot and Captain America will receive slight reductions in survivability. Dude, like, Captain America just got buffed. So no Black Widow buffs? I guess not. You're still going to be blanking people in the head with the sniper. Dude, like, Captain America just got buffed, though. And Groot was, like, just having that come up as, like, one of the top tanks. And now you're going to lower his survivability. Groot's survivability isn't even that high. Like, in my opinion, whenever I play a Groot, I can kill Groot easily. Groot can get shredded. Like, if you have a Punisher, a Moon Knight, any of those, like, you can just destroy Groot. Captain America, like, yes, he has a very high survivability. But I don't see how they're going to lower that for Captain America without making him be a bad tank again. Because the whole, like, yes, Captain America's survivability is very high. But for one, he has nothing else, right? Like, Captain America doesn't really have anything else unless you're really good with him. But otherwise, he doesn't really do anything. Like, he just jumps around point, and he's like a tick. Like he's annoying, but he's not like gonna kill you unless he's diving your backline. Which in that case, like, you can just run anti-dive. So, like, in my opinion, this is just gonna make Cap bad again, you know? So I don't think that that's all the Avengers are broken. Yeah. Well, except Black Widow, she's an Avenger and she's not broken, so I just think that that's an L nerf to Captain America. Spider-Man's amazing combo damage range will be slightly decreased. I mean, that's fine, I guess. It just so I'm assuming that that's like the amazing combo damage range. So I'm assuming that, like, you won't be able to web zip from super far, which is fine. I think that they're doing that because of how many people are playing Spider-Man now. I don't think that they would have done that otherwise, because this wasn't a problem before, and now since everybody's playing as Spider-Man, they're gonna nerf him so that not as many people are playing as Spider-Man, which I'm not mad at. Buff Strange, yeah, right here. So then after Spider-Man, it looks like a good one. Doctor Strange will require less energy for his ultimate. That's huge. Because even though, like, the amount of times when I play as Strange now where his ult just misses, or it doesn't get kills anymore, right? Because the rest of his damage got nerfed. So now that he's getting a buff for his ult where it takes less energy, now that it adds more opportunities for people to be able to play as Strange and actually compete with him, because they can use his ult more often, which will mean that even if you don't get a kill with his ult, that's okay, because you're going to get it faster, so then you have another chance. Whereas before, it was like, you would have, like, in one ranked game, you get to use your ult like 4 times, right? So if it's getting reduced, then maybe it's like 6 times, like 6 to 8 times now, maybe, right? Like, it could be doubled. But and then Winter Soldier's tainted velocity and team up ability will be slightly buffed. I don't know what it is that these devs have with Winter Soldier. I don't know what relationship they got going on here, but it seems like in every single patch, he's getting buffed. Every single time. Why is Winter Soldier getting buffed so much? Like, when was the last time that Winter Soldier got a nerf? Like, at the start of the season? And that wasn't even really a nerf. They just changed how he played. They just gave him damage drop off. Right? Like, he just doesn't get nerfed at all. I mean, yeah, that team up sucks, right? So like I'm not that mad at the team up ability being buffed because it doesn't do any damage, right? It's not that good of a team up ability, but like having his tainted voltage also be buffed as well isn't needed. Like if they just buff the team up ability, then that would be fine because that's beneficial for him and Captain America. But I digress. Since this is a mid-season balance adjustment, we aim to be cautious, keeping changes minimal to enhance the experience of certain heroes without drastically altering the overall meta. As we move into Season 2.5 with Ultron's arrival and new team-up ability adjustments, we'll consider broader, more comprehensive balance changes. New buff, we give him a freaking nuke. Facts, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. I've seen enough. Nerf Adam Warlock. All right, so now here's the big thing here. The competitive performance points. This is a big deal. They're actually going to explain how this works. In each match, hero performance rating is calculated based on the average key combat data for that hero at the player's current rank. The more a hero's key combat data exceeds their baseline for their rank during the match, the better their performance rating, and vice versa for poor performance. Okay, that makes sense. That's what they explained before. Of course, these stats are adjusted based on hero usage time to ensure they aren't skewed by play time. Interesting. If a player uses multiple heroes in a match, performance rating will be weighted according to their usage time. See, I have a problem with that. I don't like that. Because if you're playing, let's say that you're playing as support, right? And you play support, and then you switch to DPS, and then you become better on DPS. Like, so let's say like you play support for like 75% of the game, and you're like 9-9, let's say, with like 10 assists, and you have like 15,000 heals. That's like average, or maybe even worse than the average support, right? And then if you switch to DPS and you only play DPS for 25% of the game, but then you end the game 21-9 with 10 assists, then basically what they're saying is that even though you did better as DPS, and you got better, and you got a surplus of kills in that amount of time, right? Then basically what they're saying is that you're not gonna get the points for that time that you played as DPS, because they're gonna weigh it more towards support because you had more time on support. That's what I'm getting from that, and I don't think that that's a very good thing. I think it should be based off of when you're playing as a hero, they look at the stats, and then when you switch heroes, if you do better as that hero, then it should be based on that. It should be trying to be optimal for the player, right? Because sometimes even like doing bad as support isn't your fault, right? So especially a support, it's not your fault most of the time, unless you're literally like unless you have like 10% accuracy and you're just not healing, then it's your fault. But otherwise, like, there's nothing that you can do, right? So kind of a problem with that, but that's just me. Anyways, we've noticed that compared to previous seasons, a small number of duelists have a slight advantage in performance rating in Season 2.0, while some vanguards and strategists face a slight disadvantage. However, most heroes remain balanced. In this upcoming patch, we will optimize performance rating calculations based on the latest data to ensure fairness across all heroes. Okay, so if they're gonna SpongeBob Foghorn sound effect, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, if they're gonna make it so that if they're gonna change it and make it so that it's actually fair, then it should be better, and I feel like more people will want to play a support. And we probably won't get the DPS just everywhere. Balancing the game and ranked adjustments is a challenging endeavor, and we can't guarantee perfection 100% of the time. However, we remain humble and attentive, striving to address issues promptly and enhance your experience. Stay tuned for official patch announcements. For more updates, thank you for your support in advance. Okay, that's that. Yes, can't wait to kill Loki with Black Widow. Yes. All right, well, overall, though, totally equal, yes. I think that overall, I think it's a good thing that they released this dev blog because it shows that they care, which we already knew, but it shows that they're actually like willing to make changes and admit that their system is wrong, right? Because if they're changing it and they said that they can't guarantee 100% perfection all the time, but they remain humble and attentive, striving to address issues. So they admit that this ranked system has flaws and that they're going to try and fix it, which I think is a really good thing. So that's a dub overall for them. Marble Bible. Yeah, it's a dub overall for them. But yeah, I mean, if this is coming out soon, they didn't give an announcement on when this is coming out, but I would assume that it's probably, like you said, on Tuesday, or maybe even later than that. This might just be the season 2.5 patch, but I doubt it. So yeah, man,